course, they're good at the game and play what's good isn't exactly the biggest tip in the world, Kenny, so maybe will still be an uphill battle. But Super Beach is the first place that we're heading to, and it's Brawl time, baby.
I think you still bring up an excellent point, though. Unfamiliarity is something they can maybe take advantage of. In a map like Super Beach, tons of combos that can work out here. You see immediately Max and B being banned, a couple NA and global staples. On the other side, some utility brawlers coming in. More of those side lanes like Colonel Ruffs, Spike. You get the Penny, who's a very popular brawler right now, too. I think all standard stuff so far, but to your point, Apollo, you know, with less tape on them, maybe they can pull something crazy off, but already they're going to be fighting against it. The Gray comes out as pick number one. It escaped the ban phase somehow.
And this is something that, you know, the top end established team can do. Hey man, we're just going to pick the good stuff and you've got to climb the tier list. Good luck, homie. So starting off the picks and bans phase with Gray, you know, one of the strongest, most dominant individual brawlers at the moment, definitely kind of sets the tone going in. But Poco with a selection here for Apollo crew, first and foremost. Definitely kind of a standard Brawl Ball pick for sure. What do you want to see teamed up with Poco here?
Yeah, this is an interesting takeaway for them. You know, a lot of times when you see Gray, immediately you're starting to think some of those tanky brawlers. You want an opportunity to take advantage of that teleport, get up and close and personal with your enemies, whether that's somebody in the meta right now like Ashe, Sam, even somebody like Jackie shows up quite a bit. I think they're taking good countermeasures to this in case Tribe Gaming goes with one of those tankier options. They're going to pick up Poco, which is something that definitely could have added to the HP category of Tribe, and Otis, of course, with that mute button, going to be able to instantly halt anything that's coming at them. I think this is a good opportunity for Apollo to kind of counter or at least prepare for what Tribe could possibly go for.
I like the Otis selection here as well because, like we said, likely we're going to see a tank next to this Poco. But everybody knows that. So go with the util selection and then leave your tank for the last moment so that you don't get hard countered. Tribe probably going to lean into that direction as Libby picking up the M's, who does a good job on Super Beach for sure. In general, I like M's in Brawl Ball because she can kind of street sweep the direction that you want to walk up. Lou, staple of Hot Zone. Talk to me about Brawl Ball.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that. The Ice Cream Man shows up quite a bit these days. You know, I think early on it started as an NA brawler, but especially after this weekend, especially after kind of watching some scrims of a lot of teams across the world, Lou's showing up just about everywhere. I think Super Beach is a good opportunity, especially if you're going against some of those tankier brawlers. Of course, he is one of the more difficult brawlers to play. His shot is not exactly straightforward. You got to kind of line those shots up just right and take advantage of those supers. That's a huge X factor here. If they can't get those Lou supers cycling, they're not going to be able to take advantage of them. They're going to fall behind. I think a little bit of a safer approach here if you're Apollo, but of course Tribe Gaming have the mechanics to absolutely make this work.
Should be a fun one for sure. At the end of the day, Lou, it's been fun kind of watching meta trends because I promise not to get too deep into the weeds here, but meta game is dictated by the strongest players in the region plus the actual, you know, patch updates for sure, but also just what people are doing. And watching Lou hop from being a special niche pick, specifically in NA, to more and more selection is really just a matter of, well, people watched him, so now they play him. And I think it's really cool the way meta is a living beast. Middle popped up, and a whole lot of action, honestly. Players falling left and right, but it's really just a deathmatch at the moment. Tribe Gaming finally getting that second player down, but staggered, and so the Poco respawn disallows Tribe's opportunity to score.
Yeah, they're getting a little desperate here. Dropping the base now. Rich going to be cornered. And already we've seen Zulon, the X factor here, like I mentioned, pick up 2 supers. It's a huge zoning opportunity. You can give them a brain freeze as well for all their troubles and hold up any enemy pushes. Right now, they're just applying at that pressure. Another gadget going down, just trying to push Tyrant away. But Tribe finally moving back a little bit. More of a midfield fight now. Might be an opportunity here for Apollo crew to move up this map.
Yeah, the drop the base is doing kind of what Tyrant's doing with his basic attack. So finally, Crispin's able to walk up on his right-hand side, and a kill opens up. Rich might have the entrance, and he does, as Libby can't find the defense. No real disruption there at Gray's disposal. So because of that, able to just walk it in. Apollo crew did a good job of winning on the right side and then pushing on the left.
Well, now a real opportunity for Tribe. A kick over to the left-hand side. A super going down. Colt going to be frozen, and Zulon with a goal. Nice response here from Tribe Gaming, the veterans, showing that they will not back down here.
Important low latency goal. If you get scored on, the quicker you're able to equalize that, the more of a statement you make. And this is a bigger statement. 2 players down.
Immediately respond with 2 of their own. I mean, very quickly and concisely. Some impressive stuff coming in from them. And just like a 50s cartoon, it's going to be the grand piano falling from the sky.
Zulon doing good work on Crispin, pushing that mid lane out. Now focusing on the right side as Tyrant's going to get the ball. Colt full HP, so Tyrant can't walk in. Tosses. And there's a Lou super. And there's the damage on the Colt. So the door is open. Can Tyrant walk it in? Shoots it. Tribe are the first one on the board. Kenny, it looks like Tribe have kind of downloaded what Apolo want to do here.
Yeah, they really have. I mean, that's another pickup instantly for Tyrant on the right-hand side. A brain freeze onto the Colt on the left. It's a tough situation for him. They've got to teleport as well with his Livy. Plenty of opportunity as long as they stay up here. A super from Colt. Zulon falling weak, and another super at that too. I mean, Zulon has just been one to watch, cycling super after super, and now let's see if his Livy can get a little cheeky with it. There's the free goal as well.
We have here, and so maybe that one just a little bit of a sore spot. We'll find out as we jump in a hot zone, open zone specifically. Kenny, talk to me about the map. Any particular map-focused brawlers you want to see?
Yeah, I mean, open zone's an interesting one, right? People look at this on paper and they say it's a sharpshooter kind of map, but we're at a competitive level here. There's up to 6 brawlers that can ban every single time, and there's only so many sharpshooters to go around. Some of the more creative ones that I've seen recently, kind of a resurgence from early in the year, is somebody like Pam, who traditionally does well into some of these sharpshooters, can deal with people like B, like Piper, like Bell, especially with that healing station. If they end up going with an aggressive brawler, it actually works out really well. It used to be a traditional Daryl counter way back in the days of 2022 early on. Meg, of course, going to be banned here almost every single time, and if not, going to get played. I like this safe approach. B, going to be able to deal with a lot of different brawlers. A safe first pick, and there's our boy Lou once again.
Yeah, Lou on hot zone. That is the tried and true. That is the quintessential. It's kind of the spawn point of where his popularity came out of. He puts down a big circle, and the goal of this mode is to stand in the big circle. You see where I'm going with this? It really just makes sense. So teaming up with Lou, that's the fun thing. He's just good, so you don't need any particular players with him. Janet, just kind of, again, you can deal damage without putting yourself in harm's way. Good for knockout, good for hot zone as well. So Tribe Gaming have 2 kind of evergreen selections on the hot zone. Who would you like to see? I know option over Apollo, they've got a pick, but who do you want to see Tribe round their composition out with?
I think it could be really interesting. You know, you always want to try and react to what their other team's doing, but Tribe are really known for going for some safer picks. They play Janet pretty frequently across the board. I know they like picking things, especially earlier on in the drafts, that can't necessarily have a hard counter into them. Penny would have been somebody I really would have liked to see for them. They're not going to let it slide. I think that turret can just do so much work, and especially when you got things like the Honey Molasses Pod on the ground from B, it just adds a little extra utility, a little extra zone control in addition to Lou as well. So we'll have to see what they end up going with. I think strong start here for Apollo crew, though. Like to see both of those brawlers.
Time ticking down now. And the last selection here for the crew. Well, hold that thought. We'll see where they're going. I was really planning on like hitting that at 0, but it's not in the cards, I suppose. B and Penny, always strong picks. Nothing really. I need a little bit more entry. So I look at B and the Honey Molasses and the turret, etc. Great for when you're already on the point, but how do you open that door when there's a Lou threatening to drop the super? That's a big question for me. So that's what I want to see that third pick be for Crispin. Something more like that can start the fight, an initiator, if you will.
Yeah, somebody like Max may be a good momentum swinger for that. It's somebody that I see that's, actually is banned. But yeah, kind of that same idea though, right? I mean, somebody like Stu's Speed Zone, kind of to give them a little extra utility. We got word that the pick is going to be Gus. I think that's a little good versatile pick here for this team. I mean, it's all long range. They got to be careful with it, but that shield, especially at a professional level, they really know how to take advantage of that.
Yeah, there's not going to be this big moment that we see where they like push the button and go. Essentially, they're just going to look to win their lanes, find some good kills, and then when they do have an opening, walk forward and just kind of start paying rent. There's not going to be this big drop the base moment, go ahead. Rich kind of stepping forward and taking a lot of damage, but honestly didn't fall down for a while there. Took the ire of Tribe Gaming. Right now, it's red team on the point, as the push forward from Rich didn't really work out.
Yeah, and the tough thing about this composition too is, you know, Gus, great for a team, but as an individual, especially in a 3v1, I mean, heck, any of us wouldn't do great in a 3v1, but it's really hard to reclaim that without all three teammates here. They're gonna have to be careful, take advantage of these kills, find some early pickups, because otherwise, Tribe Gaming's gonna continue to run away with this.
I really like what Tyrant did. I think it can be really, you want to hold on to your Lu super for the point. But he's done this twice now where he just castles out Apollo Crew's right lane. If Rich wants to get involved outside of the turret, he has to go all the way around on the backside. So a good way to zone out the player. That said, as much talk as I did about the zone out, it's actually Apollo Crew that's going to step forward now, but just for the moment. As Livy from downtown finds one, Janet takes to the sky, and Crispin going to eat it as well. So Tribe Gaming, 80% and counting. I think that's that in the beginning of the end.
Yeah, it's a difficult sitters to try and deal with him stepping on that hot zone. You got Lou's super, and then in case that doesn't work out, you got 3 nest eggs alongside his Livy that he can trap all across that hot zone. So if they even want to dare step on it, they're going to give him a hard time for it.
We haven't really mentioned the Bell so much. Not super meta, but I think a great pick here with the mines, and also something to kind of deal with this long-range sharpshooter strategy that Apollo Crew kind of brought here. Sticking Bell in the mid, really kind of quintessential what she's supposed to do. And Apollo Crew, like I said, I think their whole plan was to play lane and win lane with long range. Not allowed. Tribe says, no thanks. And they're just able to kind of win these fights.
Yeah, this is coming down to a lot of mechanics here for sure. I mean, nobody's given up a lane yet. Heck, they haven't let them stick their pinky toe onto this hot zone. Another pickup there, a kill going down as well. Rich going to be low HP, though. Zulon with the pickup, 2v1 situation. Like I said, Crispin just not enough DPS to really do anything. Colt trying to skate his way there and still can't quite reach that hot zone.
Zulon in a bad spot. Ultimately going to pay for it. But it do not matter. Objective-minded as Daryl, although it's safe zone, so we'll see if you need it. Daryl usually a little bit more exciting when you've got wall break to jump into, but like you said, this one was a little bit more open, is a little bit more enticing for the standard sharpshooters. I would expect to see some of the Brocks, etc. But the bans are out. And I kind of expect to see Brock on the ban list for what it's worth. And he's done. All right. So Russ, B, and the Griff. And then Grom, Colt, and Sam.
It's really interesting to see somebody like Colt get banned here. I think kind of the same line of thought as somebody like Brock, right? A very large part of the meta on this map is opening up that right-hand wall. And there's the man himself, like you were talking about, for good reason. He's a solid brawler on this map. The incendiary he leaves on the ground can definitely affect the walking patterns of the enemy, and opening up that right-hand wall, just so important on this map to give you a little extra space.
Max also gets a little exciting here. I find that on a lot of heist maps, Max still good, so selected, but doesn't really get to, be used to her full potential because there are so many choke points and corridors here. A lot more open space to just run around, and there is a little bit of geometry by way of water, and Eve gets to ignore that as well. So an even more open field here for Apollo Crew. I do have to say, I'm an Eve hater, though. I never liked this too. Even when the brawler's good, I just don't like it because I'm a hater.
Well, I mean, I respect the stance on that, and at least you're firm on no matter what meta it is, you're going to roll with that. 8-bit coming in here too. Big reason why people like it is just the sheer amount of damage it can have, and because some of those more traditional sharpshooters like Piper, like B, like Bell, even though Bell has that little bounce shot, it takes a lot of shots to take down the tanky arcade machine. It's something that can do really well for them, and I think into somebody like Eve and Max can totally be fine here.
Could be a good look. I think anybody really fits in this composition. Long range might be where I particularly lean, and the Penny, well, that kind of fits the bill by way of the border turret. So I like the selection for Penny. Penny is just kind of an evergreen selection these days. Everybody loves Penny. Everybody loves the turret. Here, a couple of spots to kind of hide it for sure. Should do well in that midfield. But again, I think she's more of a sideshow where we're looking at the 8-bit to kind of be the center point of this composition. Brock to do a lot of the heavy lifting with respect to the safe damage. And then Penny, she gonna kill people. That's the idea there. And Colette rounding out the Apollo crew selection. Classic heist, that super gets the job done.
Yeah, in addition to the Penny pick there, they're really shutting down what makes Eve so special. One, she can travel across that water, but of course with the spawners that her super gives, you know, Penny can just shred right through those with a piercing shot. I like Colette here in the sense that she can get a lot of high safe damage. I think that's a very game set minded pick. And in addition, of course, we mentioned it earlier, I mean, a very healthy arcade machine is what they're facing. So having Colette, who can deal really well with very tanky brawlers, can do that extra damage, might be necessary if they want to try and get this win.
As Livy on the Brock early breaks open this lane. Dealing with Crispin. One shot for each of them. Crispin able to find the hard stuff, huh? As Livy gets the double kill and the door is open. Both him and Tyrant pouring onto the safe just like that. And it's 32% by Trot Gaming, who has yet to suffer any damage on their side.
Yeah, and Tribe have all the control in terms of what walls they want to come down. They're really going to be able to take advantage of the pressure that they can apply from this Penny turret. 8-bit really benefits from keeping this up, and right now, I'm not sure they're going to climb out of this spawn.
Oh, no! My man, that was just easy looking for sure. Drew it up, drew it down. Tribe Gaming dominant in this semifinals. Colt able to push up on the left side. That's the Max being played by Colt, by the way. Colt is banned players. But Max going to jump on in, find some damage onto the safe. And that's a good look again. Apollo, only 8%, but it's more than they were able to get in the first one.
They establish themselves once again. It's going to be two supers down, a salty barrel as well. Rich trying to jump over him, can't quite get the leap, and they're going to need a leap of faith. If anything here, it's just a difficult situation. Now, once again, I think they're just going to end up getting spawn trapped here. They're going to need to pick up at least 1 to 2 kills. They even want a shot at clawing their way back in this.
Oh, yeah, no, they have built a base. They know what they're doing. This 8-bit turret is in the exact same spot as last time. Drop down the barrel. In comes Colette for some damage, but she'll be punished for her discretions. Crispin popped thanks to Zulon. And just very